Well, Zack just got back from Germany. He was at the Frankfurt Auto Show. That's the biggest auto show in the world. Zack, how big is it?
Well, it is absolutely massive. If you walked around it in one day, you could just basically walk through the stalls. But if you wanted to stop and look at everything, it would take you the better part of a week to cover this massive show. Well, on Driving Television, we cover auto shows. In North America, there are some big ones like Detroit, New York, and Los Angeles. But if you want the biggest, it's right here in Frankfurt, Germany. The International Auto Show is huge in scale, but not only the actual volume of buildings, but the cars and the amount of media that attends. So we're going to show you some cars that will be coming to Canada, but also cars that will stay on this side of the Atlantic. We're going to have a look around and see what the best of Europe has to offer.
This is the 64th version of the Frankfurt Auto Show. It actually originated in Berlin in 1897, where there was only 8 cars on display. This year, there's over 1,000 exhibitors. There's going to be over 1 million people come through the doors. And as you can see, just by looking around, we've got 59 cars on the Volkswagen show booth alone. So the show has truly become a massive international event. North America, Asia, Korea, Japan, everywhere you can think of where they make cars, they display them here in Frankfurt. The Frankfurt Auto Show is massive. Over 10 buildings, over 1 million square feet. And it should come as no surprise that since it's our home show, Volkswagen takes up the most space. We've got over 100,000 square feet of display area here in Frankfurt. It took us about a month to set up with 1,000 workers. And as you look around, you can see what took all that time. Over 80 kilometers of cable alone for the lighting and for the sound systems had made this truly an international car show.
So what do you do when 100,000 square feet just isn't enough?
Well, we've got so much to show here in Frankfurt, seeing as it is an international show, that we really can't pack it all into one day or even 1 week. So what we do is, prior to the show, we have what we call a group night, where we show some of our finest new products to journalists such as yourself. And this year was no exception. We had over 2,400 people in a converted sport hall that we turned into, I guess, a stage on wheels, where we were showcasing cars from each of our brands: Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda, Seat, and our other brands, each displaying what we consider to be the most exciting new introduction for the show.
With all the world's manufacturers showing up to show off their cars, space can still be an issue. So Audi built this structure. It's a temporary building to be torn down after the show. Inside it looks like a regular vehicle display, but this one has a unique feature that is something to behold. The cars on display move around a track built right into the structure, showcasing the vehicles, taking people for rides, and putting on a display that's pretty hard to beat. Each vehicle rolls onto a turntable for a short period of time and then continues around the building, each one taking a turn. These companies spare no expense when it comes to showcasing their brand. The cars on display included an urban concept 2-seater with race car-inspired looks that weighs only 480 kilograms. Audi also showcased their compact SUV, the Q3, and this new high-performance RS5. Each hall at Frankfurt typically houses one manufacturer. This is Mercedes Showcase, with a custom-built 3-story display featuring a modular design for future use at other shows, and a massive multimedia wall that rivals anything that Las Vegas could put on. Now, the one vehicle that'll be exciting to Canada is the fully updated B-Class compact crossover. Now with Mercedes' signature front design, lower roofline, and cleaner design that is sure to be more appealing to our market due to a much better interior and conventional automatic transmission. The new M-Class is another big deal for North America. Already on sale here, this 2012 model is still sold with a gas or diesel engine and features Mercedes' new interior. Now the showstopper was the world introduction of the SLS, this time without a roof or gull-wing doors. By the way, Mercedes is taking orders now. There was also some racing eye candy to soak up. Let's have a look at some cars that we won't get here.
Well, here's a car we're not going to get, but it's definitely worth a look. It's the new Citroën DS5. It's a new mid-size hatchback car. Very striking exterior on the outside, but the interior is equally as avant-garde. You see in the front here, in front of the steering wheel, the instrument cluster doesn't have conventional gauges. It's got 3 screens that project information to the driver. Also, the center console has beautifully finished dials and switches. Even the center here where you have the shifter is very fluid looking. The automatic and the manual both have a high center console here. And what I particularly like are the optional leather seats. It's called Club Leather and has a unique hand-stitched pattern which we really don't see in our part of the world. We often talk about the best fuel economy coming from diesel and from hybrid. Well, what if you could put the two together? Peugeot has done that with the very first hybrid diesel. It's called the 3008. It's going to be sold later this year in France and then Germany, and that's it for the world. Just announced here at the Frankfurt show is the 508 Touring, which will also have the hybrid diesel powertrain. Well, microcars are not uncommon in Europe, but this one's really micro. A 2-seater, one in the front, one in the back. And it's an all-electric car called Twizy, sold in Europe starting this fall in France and then in Germany. This little Renault starts at 7,000 euros, but if you want the swing-up doors, it'll cost you extra.
Okay, for all you VW fanboys out there, here's the one car that you might want but you can't get. Or can you? Later in the show, we'll get an update on the VW Scirocco, now available in R-Trim for more power and performance. The really big news for Volkswagen was the introduction of a microcar called Up. Smaller than the Golf and Polo, this very efficient but roomy car opens up a huge market for Volkswagen in Europe and Asia. Perfect as a city runabout, it starts at just below 10,000 euros. Some concepts included a crossover Up, a nautical-themed convertible, and a beach buggy. Of course, there was also a highly efficient model, this one called Eco Up.
Zack, there are a lot of vehicles that are available in Europe that we don't see over here in North America. Could you give us a number?
Well, I don't think a number is really easy to come to, but what we're starting to see is a great trend. A lot of the European style is being influenced into North American products now, so that's a good thing. And speaking of style, the Volkswagen Scirocco, remember the Scirocco? Well, they have one in Europe, and a new one is called R. Very good-looking car. We'll show it to you after the break.